Seeing some of the world's most wealthy and powerful CEOs and world leaders fawning over Donald Trump is a healthy reminder profits are all that matter to the billionaire class. Apple's CEO Tim Cook recently put on a particularly groveling display to prove his loyalty.
This glass comes on the Corning line. It's engraved for President Trump. It's a unique unit of one. It was designed by a U.S. Marine Corps corporal, a formerly, that works at Apple now.
He's done well.
Designed it for you. And the base comes from Utah and is 24 karat gold. And it sits, I'll take the liberty of setting it up.
Wow.
Well, let's see. There we go. Congratulations,
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
President.
It's
Thank you so
fantastic.
much.
Great people of Kentucky.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. President, thank you very much for having me here today. You've been a great advocate for American innovation and manufacturing, and I'm grateful for your leadership and your commitment. That's a commitment we share at Apple because American innovation is central to everything we do. Our products are designed here, we're hiring and growing here, and we support 450,000 jobs with thousands of suppliers and partners in all 50 states. Earlier this year, we made our largest ever spending commitment, $500 billion to the U.S. over the next 4 years. That's already yielding results. Earlier this year, we broke ground on a new factory in Houston to make advanced AI servers. And just last month, the very first test unit rolled off that factory's line, proudly made in America. President Trump shared some kind words about that work, but he also asked us to think about what more we could commit to doing. And Mr. President, we took that challenge very seriously. I'm glad to be here with you today, and I'm very proud to say that today we're committing an additional $100 billion to the United States, bringing our total U.S. investment to $600 billion over the next 4 years. As a part of this, we're launching Apple's American Manufacturing Program. It will spur even more production right here in America for critical components used in Apple products all around the world.
We appreciate it very much, Tim. Apple.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over the last, over the weekend. And on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, it's, and I think, look, it's, at some level as an American, it's hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit.
So it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this, since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon.
Great. Jeff Bezos was very nice. He was terrific. He solved the problem very quickly, and he did the right thing, and he's a good guy.
Jon Stewart has a word of warning for the people leaving their morality at the door.
What Trump understands is people don't want friction. And if I can create enough friction in their world, it's the same way he ran his businesses, by the way.
Yeah.
Like what he would do to contractors, he would pay them about 75% to 80% of what he owed them, knowing that the hassle and the friction that they would need to go through to get that last bit. So he got himself a savings. And that's the way he's approaching this entire country.
Look, he's calling for a settlement with Fox. You've seen that this week, right?
Yes.
He said this week,
he said Fox wants to settle with him.
Which is planting the idea that is out there. He's very good at kind of testing the waters. Rupert Murdoch is an old pal of his, so he's obviously put him on the spot. We saw what happened in the Dominion case where they settled immediately when they realized Tucker Carlson's texts were going to come out in droves. And look, this is what corporate America. This idea that corporate America is going to save us is the most insane one of all. Fascism is indeed an alliance between the strong man and big business. Always has been.
No question.
Going back to Italy, Germany, etc. And that's what's so depressing about some of these corporations bending the knee. This idea that they're all being bullied into it isn't actually true. A lot of them are happy to go along with the anti-diversity stuff. They're happy to go along with the crackdowns on campuses if you're a university leader. They're happy to go along with kind of ending any kind of initiatives to fight racism. And of course, he rewards them with massive tax cuts, right? We just passed this big, beautiful or ugly bill. And who's going to benefit from that? The owners of the big tech companies and the social media giants, the owners of the corporate media outlets and the boards of those major networks. So he knows how to reward them and also how to bully them. It's a mixture of fear and greed on their part.
You know, as we look at this and we think like, okay, this is a function of Donald Trump, but it's not. There's this ethno-nationalism that is arising. You know, you mentioned Modi and you mentioned Orban and Putin. It really feels like we moved from and it was never particularly stable. There was always conflagration wherever you went. But it's a new world order that goes back to the idea of, and to quote Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders, big, small. That this is about what you can get away with through your coercion and power.
Seeing so many world leaders and Silicon Valley billionaires bending the knee to Donald Trump is a depressing indictment of both the sovereignty of nations and the willingness of CEOs to abandon even the thinnest veneer of shame or principle. Tim Cook clearly wasn't cozying up to Trump for the golf invites. He wants to avoid Apple becoming a target for Trump's next insane round of tariffs. In purely strategic terms, it probably worked, but people won't soon forget seeing the CEO of a company that built its brand on the phrase "think different" falling in line with an authoritarian regime. And Cook isn't alone. We're watching the rise of a new breed of oligarch: Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Sam Altman, who all talk about innovation and freedom, but whose real mission is consolidating power. They talk about connecting the world, democratizing technology, and building AI for the benefit of humanity, but strip away the PR gloss and what's left is a blueprint for a crypto-fascist future. Surveillance baked into every device, AI models trained to serve corporate masters, and economic systems engineered to benefit the already unimaginably wealthy. They want to build the future, own the system, and make sure no one else has a say in how it even runs. They're selling this dystopia as progress, and far too many leaders, desperate for investment or political power, are buying it wholesale.